Hello everyone, welcome to Chaudhary Data World channel. Today I am here with a new video that is on business intelligence. We'll be watching all the terms related to business intelligence that are might be data warehousing, data modeling, data cataloging. So this is going to be a very important video in which I will be covering up all the components of business intelligence, what the business intelligence is. So all these things I will be covering up in this video. So stay tuned till last to the video and let's get started with the video. First we are having this graph on which I will be coming up. Let's first look on what the business intelligence is. So business intelligence is nothing but if it's a technological technologies and processes and practices which are getting used to integrate, you may say, in business environment. Suppose you are having a business, right? That business must be generating some data. That data it is getting used for some decision making process or for some other reporting purposes. So right from collecting of the data to generating reports of the data on behalf of which we can develop a decision. So this particular pipeline, you may say, right from collecting data to reporting the graphical representation of data, all these all together having a big pipeline in which there are multiple components sitting over there, which is called as business intelligence altogether. These all fall under the umbrella of business intelligence. The components which are very much famous into our, you may say, altogether this business intelligence, that are data sources. First of all, that what the data source is going to be. After that, data integration, that how the data from that data source will be integrated to the some particular data warehouse, you may say, in which all the data will be dumped out. So that is called as data warehousing, in which the data will be dumped out. After that, we are having data virtualization, which I will be explaining you later that what this data virtualization is even. After that, there comes a concept of data governance. And data governance, data cataloging, data modeling, all these concepts I am going to explain you on this chart. That will be more helpful to you, that how each of the things are aligned to each other. It will not confuse you that how the things are going behind the scenes. So in business intelligence, so I already given you example. Suppose you are having a business into which the data it is getting generated. So right from generating the data and till the last, that reporting, that means whatever the decision you are making on the basis of data. So whole this process is a group of many sub processes. So those sub processes I'm going to explain you, or I'm going to just make you aware that what the sub processes in between it comes actually. So first one is the data source. So data source is nothing but if suppose there is a relational database, you can go over the theory and see what it is, origin or location of data getting used for the reporting. That means suppose relational database, your website is there. Suppose you, for your business, you are having some portal or a website on from which the data it is getting generated. So that data will be generated and it will be dumped to some database, right? That might be the relational database like SQL and whatever, MySQL, whatever you are having. In that, in those database, the data whatever coming from your portals and websites, it's going to be dumped. So that will be working there as a data source for in whole of this business intelligence pipeline. After that, it comes data integration. How even this data integration is coming into the picture, right? So that whole data, whatever it is getting dumped into that database, it will be then sent to the data warehouse. Now this data warehouse, it can, how it can be even sent? It will be sent by this particular data integration, correct? So this data integration is nothing but it's also a form of ELT or ETL. That means extract, load, transform, or extract transform load, in which it is altogether clear into its meaning, right? That data is getting extracted from this data source, then it is getting transformed a bit. That means whatever the cleaning process of the data will be there, a bit it will be cleaned, not entirely cleaned, but a bit will it will be cleaned, and then it will be loaded to the data warehouse, right? So this whole process, it is coming under the data integration process, into which the data coming from the data source will be dumped into the data warehouse. Now, after data warehouse, there is a data mart also associated with that data warehouse. So data warehouse is the whole collection chunk, you may say, in which all the data coming from your ERP or whatever your softwares are, or your uh, websites are. From there, the data, it is coming and it is sitting into the data warehouse. It can be a structure, it can't be a structure. So in any form it will be there, it will be coming into your data warehouse. Now we are having another level where that is data mart. So on top of data warehouse, data mart is getting created. That data mart is nothing but suppose you are having multiple departments into your uh, business, like you are having HR department, you are having technical department, so many department it can be, you are having IT department. So all these departments data, it is getting collected into your data warehouse. But this data mart, it is specific to some particular chunk of data. That means you can tell it something like that, that it is related to your some one particular department. That might be the HR department, that might be your IT department, any department. For each of the department, there will be different data marts. So you can see that we have represented it by having two data marts over here. It can be n number of data marts. It depends upon the data available into the data warehouse. Now, third concept it is coming, it is called as data virtualization. Data virtualization is nothing but, suppose if you are having this data warehouse. Now this data warehouse, you want to just have access to some other particular resource. Suppose you are also working on that data warehouse, you are also using that particular data, but some particular, you may say that stakeholder is needing that particular set of data. So you can't directly share them that data. There will be a concept where you will be sharing your data, but you will be having all control over your data. They can only use that data for the time being, but the whole control will be yours on over that. So in between, it is getting shared, but it is getting shared with the concept of data governance. That means whole of your data will be having some policy applied. That policy you will be defining onto that particular set of data which you are sharing. So that is data virtualization. There you are not sharing the whole data, but you are sharing the copy of data or the replica of data. It is called as data virtualization. But the copy you are sharing, it is having control. You are having that control, that because the source of that particular data, it is linked to your. That means you can visualize something like this. If you are in from SQL background, that if you are sharing some particular view from some particular stakeholder, that from that view they can access the data, they can view the data, but the control over that view you will be having, because you are the owner of that data warehouse. So you will be sharing that view by having some policies of data, by some policies of data, whatever you are showcasing them. So that policies, you defining that policies and defining that whole set of rules over that particular data, it comes under the definition of data governance. This whole, it is called as data governance. After that, when the data warehouse is having now data, second step, then third step, it comes into the picture, that is data modeling. That means whatever your data, it is organized or unorganized, that data now need to be organized into the organized form. Now this organization of data requires a lot of work. That means right from planning the schema, that means conceptual schema to logical schema, then physical schema, whatever the structure, because suppose you are having the different varieties of departments into your business. Those departments data, how it will be linked to each other, how the data will be stored, all these things are getting covered into the data modeling part. That means the data, it is getting modeled. For that, you can go ahead with the definition. It is written over here that creating a conceptual, logical, and physical representation of data within an organization, it is called as data modeling. And as soon as data getting modeled, the third then the next it comes as the data cataloging. It's just, you may say that it's a complementary thing of each other. As soon as data getting modeled, data cataloging is also getting happened. Now what this data cataloging is, since you are having a lot of data into your data warehouse, which is getting modeled by data modeling concept, but if suppose you want to have that data, if you want to discover some particular data into your data warehouse, there should be some metadata management system into your whole data, you may say business intelligence pipeline. That particular metadata management, it is called as data cataloging. It is helpful for your data discovery. That means whenever you want to search some particular data, you need some particular data. Since you have managed your metadata very properly, you can just go ahead with that data cataloging, and then you can search over that particular data which you are having need. There are several services and there are several tools for data cataloging and data governance, whatever you are watching over here. I will be telling you the tools. Like for data source, I told you already that it can be SQL or something like that. After that, it is the API or ETL. It is coming over here in data integration. That means that API will be the thing from where the data will be coming from the data source. After that, extract transform load will be applied, which is called as data integration, which will be dumped to data warehouse. This data warehouse, you have already got it that what it is. But the example you can see of the data warehouse, if you are aware of the Azure environment, then there is Azure Synapse Analytics or Azure Data Lake Gen 2. There are multiple things like that, or multiple services for data warehousing where the data can be stored in a structured or unstructured manner. After that, there is Data Mart for data governance and data cataloging, which I talked about that what data cataloging is even. So data cataloging is the metadata management. Now this metadata management is getting done by the various services into the Azure, that are Azure Purview, Azure policies for data or Azure policy for this data governance, Azure AD for data governance. So there are multiple services you can search around the web, that what are the services it is given by some. If you are aware of the Azure environment, you can go ahead with Azure. If you are aware of this AWS environment, you can go ahead with searching that AWS services. So I'm keeping that topic aside right now. Moving ahead with the data mining and analytics. So this data mining and analytics is nothing but, if suppose you want to have now, since you are having data very much organized now by applying this data modeling concept. So this after applying data modeling concept, you are having data mining and analytics, in which you are doing some analytical process over here. That means you are having a structured data. Now you want to make some business decision. Before making some business decision, there will be some statistical, or there will be some predictive analytics, all these type of analytics applied over that data. You can come over here into this particular slide and see the logical definition. That tasks such as classification, that means classification of the data, you can apply over the data whatever you are having. You can apply clustering, regression, and trend analysis. Suppose you want to analyze the trend, definitely you can just go ahead by separating those data in such a way that the whatever data coming into your trend analysis, it will sit over into some particular whatever you may say. You can organize that particular data. After that, after this data mining and analytics, where it comes the simple analytics or the advanced analytics. So all those analytics comes over in this particular layer. This is the component which is responsible for analytical purpose of this whole business intelligence. After that, there is the last step or the component you may say of this whole business intelligence is data visualization or reporting. This data visualization, there are several BI tools, BI reporting tools like Power BI, if you are aware, Tableau. There are multiple such. So these tools are getting used to represent whatever data you are having into your data warehouse in graphical form. So when it is shown into the graphical format, it is very easy for the leadership team to take decision over those graphical form of the data, which is at last serves the purpose of this whole business intelligence. That means it can have decision making capabilities. That graph which is getting represented of that whole data at the back end, it is not capable, the leaderships are not capable to make decision over that particular graphical representation, where it is getting shared with the different teams, right? That the report, whatever it will be generated into the Power BI or Tableau, that will be shared across the teams. So accessing that report again comes under some policy. That means who can access that particular report, at what depth level that can be accessed, all these things getting again handled by the component that is data governance. So this was whole overview of what this business intelligence is, how we can have different components applied into this business intelligence. And in this particular channel right now, I am going with a series of data warehousing in which I will be showing you, I will be teaching you all the logic, all the concepts, whatever we are having into data warehousing, how we can apply those concepts very efficiently. All these things I will be explaining into the upcoming videos. So that was all about this video, and stay tuned to the channel for upcoming videos. And if you found this video informative, kindly like to the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching the videos.